Hello everyone and welcome back to Kings Row Collectibles. Today we are doing a Fire Emblem Heroes summoning session, probably unlike any that you've ever seen before, mainly because I'm going to be talking about my addiction to gacha and also kind of some uncharted territory in the Fae YouTuber community about how I deleted my data on this account twice and got my account back twice. So this is going to be a story time video while I summon. I have a couple disclaimers. First of all, I've decided I'm not comfortable sharing how much money I've spent on this game, but it's a lot, and you'll probably get an idea as I talk about some different things. And it just is it's a considerable amount of money. And I'm not a YouTuber, okay? I'm just a regular person. I'm not a content creator. I'm not anything like that. I don't make regular videos, okay? My second disclaimer is I don't recommend you spend money on any gacha game at all. The third is I don't blame anyone but myself for, having an addiction to gacha. I do want to go into a little bit of psychology behind addiction and my own issues, and it's going to sound like I'm blaming situations and people and stuff, but I take full accountability. The next one is there's probably nothing you can say that I don't already know or feel about myself. I know this is completely stupid. I know it's completely irresponsible. Luckily, I have never gotten to myself in any financial trouble. I maintain a decent amount in my savings account, but I think the moral of the story is that my savings account could be much bigger. So that's what we're going to talk about. I have a feeling I'm not going to say like nearly all that I want to say in this video, so I'm just getting that right out there. Also, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do two things at once, so we'll see kind of how that goes. So we have 420 orbs here. I thought that was a good number, and yes, most of them are purchased, and obviously I feel like this is a much smaller amount than I usually spend on Fire Emblem Heroes. So if you just want to bear with me, human to human, I think that gacha addiction is kind of a lot more widespread than we probably give it credit for, so that is what this story time is about. I have free summons on all of these banners because I just got my account back on the second time. So I'll probably just go through and, kind of summon as I see fit. But our main targets today are going to be Nifl and also Summer's Dream. So that is kind of what's going to be going on here. So let's see. We'll start. I have the tickets and everything. If I get Nifl, I think I'm going to stop. And that's provided she's not minus attack or minus speed. I might go for the spark if she is, but I really don't care for any of these other heroes. I think they would be nice to have, but I mainly just want Nifl. So I will summon on all of these things that aren't colorless, and if I get Nifl and she's good IVs, we'll stop and we'll head over to the summer banner. Okay. So the first thing, we can summon on all of these. The first thing I want to say is I don't drink or do drugs, so as far as addiction goes, at least I don't have that going for me. I mean, I know that doesn't make really anything better, but, I don't have any other terrible addictions other than basically just collecting and spending money on gacha and so on and so forth. So growing up, I was pretty privileged. I always got everything that I wanted. We were not rich by any means. I think my family, because I was born in a very special point or like lucky point where I was pretty much the only kid at the time. So I got a lot of everyone's attention, and everyone worked hard to give me a good life and basically give me everything I wanted. Even though, like I said, we weren't rich. So that being said, emotional support was never big in my family. Oh, look, first circle, we got Charlotte. That is a good summon. And, I'm not really worried about this banner as much as I'm worried about, she's plus defense, as much as I'm worried about the summer one. Like, I want to save my good luck for the summer banner. So my immediate family and, my aunts and uncles and stuff, they always gave me everything I wanted, like stuff wise, but they were never really like huggy kind of people, and that's fine. But one person who was my favorite person in the world, my grandmother, she did give me that emotional support, and she didn't have money, and I never expected anything from her, and she always tried to give presents, so on and so forth. But yeah, I don't know if what I'm saying makes any sense, because like I said, I'm trying to do two things at once, and it's very difficult actually. So basically, they're created this space growing up. I was never told no. And if you're a parent of a young person, I highly recommend you tell your kids no, because as an adult, now I don't tell myself no. And if I was ever told no, now as an adult, I'm like, well, geez, I'm an adult. I can get whatever I want, right? So I think that's part of it. Like if I was told no growing up and I was okay with not having something, or okay with being told no, that might be a little bit different now. So that's just a little background. Now as an adult, I do spend a lot of money on stuff that I don't need. I have a lot of collectibles. I collect amiibos, I collect figures, I collect all kinds of stuff. I collect cards, which is not bad, because someday some of the stuff I have will be worth a lot of money, but it's not good to spend money on stuff that you don't need, quite frankly. So that's just kind of how I am as an adult now. If I want something, I get it. From the beginning of my life, I've suffered from anxiety. I don't necessarily know why. And like I said, none of this is really super pertinent to the story, but I just like to give a little background. And like I said, watching this, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of cringe, because I'm going to be like, what was I talking about? So let's see. Let's talk about Fire Emblem. I got into Fire Emblem the day that Lucina and Robin were announced for Smash Bros. 4. I was so hype for the announcement that I stayed up all night. I remember it was June, and I didn't sleep because I was so excited for this announcement. And, that was back when Captain Falcon was also confirmed. We didn't know that these old characters were going to be confirmed. So I didn't really know anything about Lucina or Robin. I did hear that Robin and Chrom were popular picks, just, from hearing about what other people wanted in the game. So that was my first exposure, and I think pretty soon after, I went out and bought Awakening for the 3DS. And I had no idea what kind of game Fire Emblem was. So I was surprised that it was like a turn-based tactical RPG, that kind of stuff. And I'm sure I did a really poor job, but I did fine. I got through the game, whatever. So I also played Fates. I got the limited edition where you can actually choose your house, and I chose Nor. So it was hard for me to play Birthright. That's how everything is once you get used to something. So let's hope for Nifl so I don't have to go to Spark. So that's kind of how I got into Fire Emblem. So Fire Emblem Heroes comes out in February 2017. Okay, Ylger. Bad. Pity breaker. And it was my first gacha game. I really didn't understand gacha games at all. I had no idea how they worked. But my very first ever pull was Tiki. The 5-star young Tiki. And I went on to pull like all of my favorites. I pulled Lucina, I pulled Ephraim, I pulled Elise, and those were kind of like the brunt of my early team. And I didn't know anything about banners. Banners didn't make sense to me at all. I would save up 20 orbs and I would pull a full circle. That's all I did. So I didn't save, I didn't overspend, anything like that. I just happened to get really lucky. So I didn't spend money. I lasted quite a while. I even made it past the first Choose Your Legends. And I remember that first Choose Your Legends, I pulled Brave Lucina. I remember Sigurd, my favorite Fire Emblem character, was announced, and I pulled him. All free to play, all free to play, all free to play, all that kind of stuff. So the first banner that I spent money on was the Performing Arts banner. The very first Performing Arts banner with Performing Arts Azura, who for a long time was my most wanted unit. So I think I dropped like $20 and I immediately pulled a 5-star Amelia. And, not knowing too much about gachas, I was like, well, geez, it seems like when you spend money, you're going to have a boosted chance. So I remember I spent quite a bit of money on the performing arts banner, and I ended up with 4 Inigos and no performing art Azuras. So I did not get her, and I think that was my first real rude awakening to the gacha world. And I've seen everything. I've seen 14.25% on a mythic banner. That was Yoon's banner. I've seen 11% on a 3% banner. I've seen 11% on a 4% banner. So I've seen it all. So what happened was my grandmother, my favorite person in the world, died in March of 2017. And when I say my grandmother, I think people's heads go certain places like, oh, well, I didn't even know my grandparents, or yeah, like it's expected that your grandparents die, all that kind of stuff. But I just want you to like imagine your favorite person in the world, whether it's your twin, your brother, your sister, your mother, like your favorite person. And some people, think about it, like if your favorite person is your child, some people hopefully are going to have their favorite person until they die. But that wasn't the case for me. I lost my grandma when I was 23 years old, and that sent me into a really, really bad spiral. I developed depression. I never really had depression before, but I definitely had anxiety. And after she died, I had this hole in my heart, and actually I still have a hole in my heart that I have yet to been able to fill. So just back on this, we're not getting terribly lucky here after our first Charlotte. If we can get Nifl, that would be so good. Oh, okay, we got a 4-star special Ishtar. So I took notes on what I wanted to say. So the game came out in February, my grandma died in March, and the first time I spent money was of September that year on the game. And what I found was that obviously getting that character that you want offers a quick fix of dopamine, and seeing their shadow, seeing that appear, all that kind of stuff, I got hooked. And again, this is where I'm saying, it's no one's fault but my own, but just the feeling of dopamine made me spend and spend and spend and spend and spend and spend. Now, I used to just typically spend on legendary or some seasonal banners. And it was, I think, the latter half of 2018 where I realized I had a problem and I was spending too much money. So what I did actually was I entrusted my phone to a family member, and they put a password on my phone so I couldn't make purchases. And it worked. However, as an addict, one of the first things I did is, okay, we got a cliff. Useless to me. Plus speed, also not good. I ended up going to Best Buy and I bought a crappy Samsung tablet for $80, which is quite a bit of money. And that is what I used to start spending again. So I was spending on Fire Emblem Heroes, and also at that time I was spending on Dragalia Lost as well, because Dragalia Lost came out. Okay, we got our first Orochi, which is fine. Don't care about her though. Let's see what her IVs are. Sure. So, as an addict, I got around this barrier that I set up for myself, and I'm very fittingly probably going to be sparking Nifl, and at this point, I'm close enough that I'd probably spark anyway. All right, we got a 4-star Olwyn. So, this was like after 1 year of spending, I realized I had a problem, and I gave away my password, but, I bought a new tablet and ended up getting my passcode back to my phone eventually. Now, I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. Okay, we got another Charlotte. I was spending a lot of money. I remember on Legendary Hector's banner, I think I spent like $500 or something to get one Hector. And no, at no point did it ever make me feel good, right? Let's hope for a good last circle here. All right, this is a great circle. And I don't think I'm going to summon on all of them because I want my summer units more. Unless I get Nifl, or I'm not sure. Let's see what we got here. Okay, we got Ferdinand. So I'm skipping ahead to fall 2020. I have already spent an insurmountable amount of money on this game, and I don't know how, but I ended up taking a break. I took a couple months break at the end of 2020 where I missed the Halloween banner. I think I must have missed some summer banners too. Oh wait, shit. We made it to 40, or I think that was our 40th. Anyway, so I did managed to skip a fair bit of time off of this game without playing. And we're just going to get our Nifl, which I wasn't wanting to spark, but thank God we can spark, right? So I managed to, swear it off for a little bit. There she is. Okay, so January 2021 is where my spending exploded and where, I was kind of confronted with a couple ideas or ideals here. Let's just break it up with some free summons. I would like a free Deadeye. So I think, and again, not blaming anyone but myself, but a first dangerous trend that I started to notice in 2021. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. See, this is the problem with doing two things at once. When they introduced the sparking mechanic, suddenly, where I previously was able to skip banners, I no longer was able to skip banners because you can spark and you can get a guaranteed 5-star, and think about all the 5 stars you can get along the way, and you also get the coin that you need to get cool stuff and all that kind of stuff. So some notable things is I plus 10'd Raphael on the Plegian banner. I spent a lot of money on that. Marianne, the Valentine's banner, I spent quite a bit of money on, and I actually, I got lucky, but what does lucky mean? When you spend as much money as I did. And also what happened at the beginning of 2021 was the issue of power creep. So as you all know, starting with arguably the Valentine's banner, power creep just got out of control. And to keep up with all of the, gamings and doings and all that kind of stuff, you had to get the far saves, you had to get the ideal skills, you had to get all that kind of stuff, whatever. So that was the first dangerous trend that I noticed. I couldn't any longer skip a banner. So that brings me to the first time I deleted my data, which was after the Voting Gauntlet anniversary banner with Dimitri and Duo Lin. I managed to get to 11.25% on that banner, and I was just beyond myself. And, as a spender, I'm confronted with, how much money do I realistically want to spend more on this game? Because there's that whole thing, right? Gacha games are going to go away at some point. Look at Kingdom Hearts Union Cross, right? I am going to be a slave to this game as long as it exists, basically, unless I do something about it. So I tend not to think things through. Now, on this banner, I'm going to pull any colorless that I see in the first circle, because I, maybe would like the duo unit. So yeah, I kind of didn't think much about it at all, and I deleted my data. Oh my god. Oh my god, I have never free summoned like this before. Oh my god, perfect, excellent, flawless pull. Oh my god, that saves me so many orbs. Not that I was going to spend orbs, but whew. Let me just see if I can get Casper, and then I'll head right out of this, because that was lucky. Nope. Okay, so I deleted my data for the first time, and that is where I'm going to cut the first half of this video.